an hour, 20 miles below the speed limit. Officer Greer made a traffic stop. He noted that Mr. Nippen was driving, and Mr. Greer wrote a ticket for 55 in a 35. The law on this case is simple. There's OCGA, which stands for the law in Georgia, and it simply says that no person shall drive a vehicle in excess of maximum limits. The limit was posted at 35 miles an hour. The defendant, Mr. Nipper, was driving at 55 miles an hour per the laser. And I'm going to ask you at the end of the trial to find the defendant guilty of speeding 55 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sexton. All right, Mr. Nipper, you have the right to give an opening statement, and I'll tell you, just again, to make certain you're following me. This moment, if you want to tell me what you think the evidence is going to show, that's fine, but just know that this is not evidence, and I will not use anything you say in making my decision. I will use what you tell me to understand the big picture of this case, but I will not be using it in making my decision. Do you understand that distinction between those two things?
Yes.
All right, tell me what you want me to know about the what you believe the evidence will show.
Okay. On August 14th at approximately 7:36 a.m., I was traveling northbound on North Hill Street, headed to McDonough to take my son to work at McDonald's. As I was approaching North Dobson Mills Road, there were 4 cars in that possession that day and at that time of the morning. The first car was a silver 350 SL Mercedes. The second one was a Honda Odyssey, 2022 Honda Odyssey with the tag number CZY4812. Then there was me. And then there was another car behind me, which was a Chevrolet Caprice, 1974 Chevrolet Caprice, white ragtop. The evidence that I have will show that the officer was not positioned in a correct position in order to be able to take laser or radar readings off of me, because he was not in a clear and open space where the laser had a full and unobstructed view of my car.
Okay. All right, I have that. Thank you so much. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, sir. I do have pictures as well of the road that I was traveling down going northbound at the time.
Okay, so you hold on to those, and I'll talk to you about those in just a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, well, Ms. Sexton, you may call your first witness.
The state calls Officer Tommy Greer. Officer Greer, do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
Your Honor, I was hoping to have additional copies, so I'm just going to show the defendant the copies of what I plan on submitting.
Sure.
See if he objects to the submission of the copies.
Okay.
And Anna's place to put the copies in.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay. I'm going to show you these,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is
All right.
what's going to go.
We're just gonna go off record and let y'all talk about those, and then when you're ready, we'll go back on record.
Okay.
All right, we're off record. let's come back on record. So, Ms. Sexton, you have provided your documentation to the defense to review. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Nipper, did you have all the time that you needed to review that packet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And then did you get them back in the order you needed them?
Yes, sir. I've got it where I can work with it.
Okay. Then I think we're ready to go then. So, all right. We're back on record. Ms. Sexton, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna hand those to you one at a time after. Thank you. Officer Greer, we're going to do a little bit of preliminary information, and I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can you give your full name to the court and spell your last name?
Tommy David Greer, Grier.
And can you tell me how you currently are employed?
Currently, I'm employed with the Spalding County Sheriff's Office as a patrol deputy.
And how were you employed on August 14th, 2025?
As a patrol deputy with Spalding County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And how long have you been employed as an officer with Spalding County?
With Spalding, I think I started back in April, but I started my law enforcement career. I was hired by the Georgia Tech Police Department December 4th, 1997.
And are you post-certified?
I am?
And were you on duty on 8/14/25?
Yes.
Were you in your uniform?
Yes, exactly this uniform, except the name tag was a little bit different. We just changed them, but this is the uniform that we wear.
Okay, were you wearing a badge?
Yes, it's right here on my belt next to my gun, plus there's the one that's on the vest.
Were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes.
What kind of vehicle were you in?
A 2025 Dodge Durango, fully marked with all lawful lettering and emergency lights.
Were you patrolling in Spalding County?
Yes.
Is Spalding County located in Georgia?
Yes,
Did you have occasion to encounter a vehicle driven by Marshal Nipper?
I did.
And is Marshal Nipper sitting in the courtroom today?
He's sitting right here with the black and blue plaid vest on.
Okay, thank you for describing him. Can you remember or tell me what type of vehicle he was driving?
It's a gray in color Altima. It's just a standard little small car.
Okay, do you recall about what time you first noticed the vehicle?
It's on my citation.
Can
It was,
I'm going to use this to refresh your memory.
please. Thank you. It was around 7:35, 7:36 in the evening.
Okay, and can you tell me how you know it was in the evening?
Because I was assigned a night shift then. Also in your packet is a log of my laser. And in there, if you'll pull that out, it's just lines of things. Yes. So if you'll pay attention here, I highlighted on the second page because we have to test our speed detection devices at the beginning and end of every shift. And so if you'll notice here on 8/14, I tested mine at 18:40 in the evening at the start of my shift, and then at the end at 6:45 in the morning. And this whole section in here, you can see up until September 1st, I was on night shift.
So your ticket correctly reflects the time that the ticket was issued,
Yes, ma'am.
and it correctly reflects that it was in the evening.
Yes.
Uh,
It's in the evening, but it's right that time of year where it's still sunlight out really well. It's not like now.
And I'm going to, can you explain to me what that log is, other than we just discussed what time of day we were able to determine the ticket was issued? Can you explain to me what that log is for?
Yeah, it's divided up into a couple of sections across of it. It's got the date, which is the month, day, and year. In this column over here, you have the manufacturer and the serial number information that goes in this section. And then we have our calibration testing times, and there's the beginning and then the end of shift. And so on this date that we are discussing right now for August 14th, if we flip to that page, August 14th, I was operating the Custom Signals Incorporated Pro Laser. The serial number on that was 22736. So LF 7236. And so it's, in there is the system also, or in that packet is the certificate of operation for the unit itself, showing that it was calibrated and operating correctly from the factory. We have to do that once a year, and the unit that we were using here was just, it was just done in May, I believe.
So your equipment is calibrated at the beginning of each shift and at the end of each shift?
Yes.
To ensure that it's accurate?
Yes, what we have to do is we have two known distances in the parking lot of the sheriff's office. One is 100 feet, one's 105 feet, as long as it's within a minimum, a minimum amount. It can't be off by more than 2 or 3 feet. We keep it tiny, so it's still accurate. And so as long as you check it off, you do that, because you have to put it in measuring mode. You take it off of, it's not going to measure speed, so it's only going to do stationary measurements. So you just turn it into that mode. You get into the position, you make sure you got the correct distance, and then you have to do a reticle check on the unit itself. So you find a nice straight pole a little ways out so that you can hold the unit this way and hold the reticle and go up. And then you'll turn it sideways so that you can take the reticle, which is the eyepiece you're looking through, and make sure it lines up coming down. And that way you know that glass that's in there with the reticle that you're having to look through is within specs, and it makes it accurate so you can see where it's supposed to go.
Okay, and so that log would show that you calibrated it you tested the calibration at the beginning of the day before this ticket was issued, and you tested it at the end of the day after this ticket was issued, and that the speed on the ticket would be accurately reflected as captured by the laser. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the state would like to tender the calibration log as Exhibit 1.
All right, any objection, Mr. Nipper, to me using this calibration log and making my decision on your case? Donna may have stickers.
Do you have just Exhibit 2? Okay, thank you.
All right, any objection, Mr. Nipper?
No.
Okay, all right. The state's Exhibit 1 is tendered, and that's the calibration log, is tendered and admitted without objection.
All right. As we're speaking about the detection devices, I'm going to give you some exhibits, and you're going to explain to us the testing and the verification and the authorization that you have in order to determine speeding or the speed of a vehicle traveling on the roads of Spalding County, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me give you this, which I'm listing as State's Exhibit 2. Can you explain that document to us, sir?
Yes, ma'am. This is, we get our training is overseen by the Peace Officer Standards and Training Council of Georgia. We call it POST. And this is the data from my training since I started police work until now.
And so that that paper documents your certification to issue citations for the type of speeding because of the training that you have.
Yes, ma'am. This copies every piece of post training I've taken since, like I said, since 1997, and specifically on here on the first page where there's specialized certifications in Georgia. And if you'll notice here, I have my radar operator, which back in the day you had to have that before you got LiDAR, and they've changed it since. But I also have the LiDAR operator certification that I obtained through my career. And then I am also, back in November of 2024, I also became a speed detection instructor. So I also teach LiDAR and radar.
Thank you. The state's going to submit this as Exhibit 2.
All right. Any objection? All right, any objections, Mr. Nipper?
No, sir.
All right, States 2 is tendered and admitted without objection.
Officer Greer, I'm handing you the Peace Officer Standards and Training Council certificate. Can you explain to us what this certificate says?
Yes, ma'am. This states here that May 7th of 2008, I received training for my LiDAR operator so that I could use laser. And it actually puts my certification number on here, and it's PS 1608024S.
State would like to,
You'll go around this way, that way you're not really leaning over Donna there.
the state would like to enter this as Exhibit 3.
All right. Any objection to this certificate being tendered and admitted at Estates 3?
No objection.
All right, it's tendered and admitted.
This next document I'm going to show you is an executive order regarding the Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, State of Georgia, issues this.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
explain to the court what that is, officer?
We are only allowed to use speed detection devices that are approved through the Department of Public Safety. And this is a list of those approved ones. The beginning of this, for the first 2 pages, is going to be the types of LiDAR units we could use, as opposed to the rest of it, which is radar. And this one, I used a Custom Signals Incorporated Pro Laser 4 on that day, and it is listed as, it's listed right here as an approved unit to be used in the state of Georgia.
Thank you. The state would like to submit this as Exhibit 4.
No objections.
All right, Estates 4 is tendered and admitted without objection.
Officer, I'm handing you another piece of paper. Could you explain to the court what that piece of paper says?
So for any agency to use a speed detection device, they have to get the FCC license approval. They have to apply for it to be able to use the laser or radars in their jurisdictions. This is a copy from the state of Georgia Department of Public Safety to the Spalding County Sheriff's Office, which authorizes us to operate speed detection in the county.
All right. Thank you very much. The state is going to tender this as Exhibit 5.
No objections.
All right, Estates 5 is tendered and admitted without objection.
Officer, I'm submitting to you a list of roadways for Spalding County.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you discuss what that document shows us in relation to this case in particular?
Yes, this is a list of all of the county roads in Spalding County that we are authorized to operate speed detection on. Each road that is listed in here is noted if it's a school zone or not, what time those school zones are in. It gives very specific things on where the location is, where the roadway is, what's the speed limit, what's the beginning and end of that speed limit if it changes on that road, what are the boundaries of the jurisdiction of that road. So for this case, we were on North Hill Street Extension, is where I had originally picked up his speed. And so if we go through, it's in alphabetical order, and we go into the back here, and it is, let's see, where's it at? It goes from East McIntosh to 0.2 miles just north of Dobbins Mill. And I was directly in the middle of that. That's 1.3 miles long with a speed limit of 35. That's what we're authorized to use for that area.
Thank you. The state would like to tender this as Exhibit 6.
All right. Same question?
No objections.
All right, State 6 is tendered and admitted without objection.
Oh, I do have one question though.
Okay.
With the system that you have in the car, which frequency band are you using?
Okay, so almost there. Just hold that thought. So you have the right to ask a few questions at this moment if you wish to traverse. I'm sorry, that's a fancy word. If you wish to oppose the entry of this document into the record, that's more of a cross-examination question. So good question, wrong time. Hold that question, and you'll get to ask it in just a few minutes.
Yes.
All right. So State 6 is tendered and admitted without objection. That question is cross-examination. I will allow him to ask that on cross. All right. You may continue, Ms. Sexton.
Officer, I'm handing you a certificate of calibration. Could you explain to the court what what that document says.
This is for the Pro Laser 4 custom signals unit that I was operating that day. And it shows that on May 30th of 2025 that it was operating appropriately. It was tested by Mobile Communications out of Tucker to make sure that it did operate. And the second page is actually going to be the safety test sheet, which is going to show what the laser output was and some other specs in there. So that's what that is, showing that the unit was serviced as required yearly.
Thank you, officer. The state would like to tender this as exhibit seven.
I'm gonna have him pass the stuff
objection.
over this way. No
No
objection?
objections.
All right.
I don't have any Your Honor, so we can move this a little bit quicker. I don't have any objections with the officer's credentials or ability to do his job.
So you can just continue laying your foundations, and then as you just tender them, I'll just say admitted, and then
Okay,
we'll be good to
great.
go. That way you can keep your rhythm, and you'll just go around to the right.
Your
that
Honor,
way.
Your Honor, the only reason I said that is because I have to pick my daughter up at 2:30.
Yep, I know. All right, go ahead, Ms. Sexton.
In the interest of time, I'm gonna leave these two out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Officer, I've asked you a bunch of questions about a bunch of credentials. At the end of the day, were you working a device that was properly calibrated?
Yes.
Were you working a device that was properly in the free and clear in order to detect the speed?
Yes.
Are you trained to work this?
Yes.
And you were located in Spalding County?
I was.
And you issued a ticket at 7:36 PM to the defendant, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And again, when you conducted the stop, the defendant was driving the vehicle?
Yes.
I'm trying to rush through this, Your Honor.
Sir?
I'm gonna, this might be a little redundant, but if you could just go yes at the end of each question, if that's the true answer. Is the laser device you were using that day approved by the Department of Safety for the measurement of vehicle speed?
Yes.
Prior to and after you being on duty that day, did you test your device in accordance with the manufacturer's recommended procedure to assure yourselves that the device was working accurately?
Yes.
Are the results of those tests recorded anywhere?
Yes, ma'am.
And we submitted that documentation, is that correct?
Yes.
And the device was functioning correctly?
Yes.
Has Spalding County Board of Commissioners applied for and received a permit from the state authorizing your department to use that speed detective device on that particular road?
Yes.
Has Spalding County also adopted a speed zone ordinance which names the public roadways upon which your department can operate speed detection devices with the speed limits approved by the Georgia Department of Transportation?
Yes.
Was the place that you stopped the defendant on a public roadway designated by the speed zone ordinance?
Yes.
Did you use your laser device to measure the speed of Mr. Nipper's vehicle?
Yes. Would you like me to give a bit more detail on how I identified him?
Yes, I would.
All right. So I was parked with my vehicle on the southbound side of North Hill Street Extension. I park it to where it is in a driveway that's on the side of the road. And then I get out of my car and I stand either at the front or the back of my unit so that I have a nice clear view next to the roadway, because for every 100 feet, we're supposed to offset so much if there's an angle. But when I'm standing all the way up next to the road, I got a straight shot. Once they come out of the curve and they're lined up, it's direct shot. I don't have to offset or anything because I'm standing next to the road. So I was standing there, I saw a vehicle approaching, and when I looked at it, I visually estimated it was above the posted speed limit. I put it around 50 to 51. It turned out he was doing 55. In our training, we have to be within 5 miles an hour. We have to do that when we go through the training, and then even in the field, we keep that up by continuously, having to be able to visually estimate cars and vehicle speeds. Locked him in at a speed of 55 and a 35 with my LiDAR unit, and entered my patrol vehicle, pulled him over, issued the citation for that. I was when I got his speed, he was traveling northbound. He was at 511 feet in front of me.
So you issued a traffic citation,
Correct.
and for what offense?
Speeding, 55 and a 35, which is 20 mile an hour over.
To the best of your knowledge, are there warning signs of at least 24 by 30 inches on the state highway where you enter Spalding County advising motorists that the speed detection devices are in use?
Yes, they are.
Was your patrol car at least 500 feet away from any such sign when you were clocking the vehicle?
Yes.
Was your patrol car unobstructed to the view of traffic for a distance of at least 500 feet?
Yes, ma'am. Parked on the side of the road.
Was your patrol vehicle at least 600 feet from a speed reduction sign?
Yes.
Had the speed limit on the public roadway been reduced within 30 days of the date of the citation?
No.
Is the grade on that portion of the public roadway in excess of 7% or more than 45%?
No.
45-degree angle, I'm sorry.
No.
Is there any chance that you could have clocked another vehicle and then pulled over Mr. Nipper, the defendant's vehicle, by mistake?
That's what one of the benefits of using a LiDAR unit is that unlike radar, which continuously spreads out as it continues, so it's like a cone, a LiDAR unit stays pretty much steady, and the benefit is it is target acquisition very specific, so you don't have to worry about that.
Did the defendant, to your recollection, make any statements to you?
I don't recall anything in particular.
Did everything that you observed on this day occur in Spalding County, Georgia?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Nipper, you may ask Cross if you'll just use your microphone, be nice and loud,
Yes,
and
sir.
then let him finish before you ask your next question.
Okay, as I was saying before, what frequency band do you use?
Laser doesn't use a frequency band. It doesn't measure frequency. LiDAR units measure wavelength. So it's different than some folks will get confused and try to think of LiDAR as the same as radar, and they're not.
From the research that I've done, there are only 4 companies in the greater North American region that make LiDAR and laser detector systems for the police department. And it clearly states that there are only 3 bands, frequency bands, that the police department uses. 2 of them, one of them is K band and the other one is KA band. The X band you don't use in the greater North American area. It's just those 2. So which frequency is your LiDAR system and your laser system set up to?
Again, what you're talking about with the X bands and the other Ks and everything, those bands are for radar units only. It has nothing to do with laser, because radar units deal with frequencies, like radio frequencies, whereas a laser or a LiDAR unit is what it truly is does wavelength of light. It measures the distance between light. So light travels at 186,000 feet per second. So what it's doing is the unit, it doesn't use any type of frequency. It uses a wavelength and a pulse pattern to be able to measure the distance, how long it takes for it to go from point A to point B back to point A.
Back to you. Yes, I also read all about that in the research that I did. It takes approximately, from the time it leaves your car and it hits my car, it takes 1.3 seconds to bounce off my car and hit yours. I do understand all of that.
You're talking about radar again. You're not talking about laser.
Okay, you on the ticket, you said you were using laser, not LiDAR.
Laser is the term laser, if you don't mind. I'm just trying to help a little bit. Laser is kind of unfortunately, it gets kind of switched back and forth between laser and LiDAR. Technically, LiDAR uses a laser system to be able to measure, but the difference is that laser is whenever you take it, you agitate a radioactive state for you to be able to produce that beam that comes out. LiDAR is using that technology and applying it in a measuring way to use it to measure things.
Okay.
So that's why it's called LiDAR, big L, little I, and then big D, big A, big R. It's a measuring device. It is not, so it says laser here just because that's what most folks commonly associate it with, but the true technical term is it's not a laser unit, it's a LiDAR unit.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
No,
No,
absolutely not. That's exactly what you and I hold on, we need to address this. I already said this morning,
Okay,
you are not an attorney. I already had to almost take you into custody because you're disrupting it, and I'm a little bit worried because
So-
you're getting very agitated, and I'm almost able to hear your conversation so loud, and I am worried that you are about to step into something dangerous. So I'm just being very careful, communicating very clearly, and saying, you need to whisper a little more quietly and do not speak to me again.
Okay. All right, you said you clocked me at a distance of 511 feet.
Correct. That
Right.
was where I got my last measurement of your speed.
Okay. You were you aware that there were other cars in that possession with me before you pulled me over? There were 4 cars that day at that specific time of day. There were 4 cars in that place, in that alignment. There was 2 other cars in front of me and another one. Are you? Is it at all possible that it could have bounced off of one of their cars? Because by the time you saw me, 2 other cars in front of me had already gone through the stop sign. There was no way I was speeding because of the simple fact the 2 cars in front of me were doing 35 miles an hour. And I was directly right behind them. One car pulled up to the stop sign, left. The other car pulled up to the stop sign, left. I pulled up, my brakes scraped, and you came around the backside of your car and got in your car and pulled me over. How can I be speeding if I'm doing the exact same speed as they were?
Because you weren't doing the same speed they were.
Yes,
and
sir,
I can
I
guarantee
was. Yes, sir, I was.
You've asked him a question, let him answer it. So it's okay, you can follow up, but he needs the chance to answer your question.
Go ahead,
So
sir.
what commonly happens is you're right. If people are coming northbound, they're coming from North Hill and McIntosh,
Yes, sir.
which I cannot even see because it's so far up the roadway
So
from
far
where I
up the
sit.
road.
Let him answer your question.
What'll happen is a lot of times at that intersection, you'll have somebody that will, because it's a 4-way intersection, so folks are having to take their turn as they're required. And so you'll have a couple of cars that may be coming northbound on North Hill where I was, and then another car will just drive and catch up to them, and that's usually when they get for the speed is when they're getting caught up. You had asked earlier if it was possible that it could have been another car, and I can guarantee you it is not. The laser unit is not big enough, and when I look through that laser with the sighting system on it, which is similar to my entry rifle, if I look through right here and I have a dot, that dot goes and it can fit perfectly on that car. It does not get interfered with another car because it's not like a radar unit that continuously spreads. It'll spread, but it doesn't spread anywhere near like that. It is very specific. That's why it's used a lot on interstates, congested areas, things like that, to where you're able to get those good speeds.
Okay, so what you're saying is no matter whether I was behind 2 other cars and in front of another car, no matter, it doesn't matter. I was doing that speed, even though I was traveling in the same direction as 2 other cars, and both of those cars made it to the stop sign and through it without you getting them or without your radar system going off. You didn't pull either one of those 2 over, but you pulled me over, and you didn't pull the guy over behind me. Why? I wasn't doing over the speed limit. There was no way. I can't go 55 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone following directly behind another car traveling at the same rate of speed I am. I can't be doing that. There's no way. So what I'm trying to understand is how did you get me and not those other 2? I don't get it. I don't understand it. There were 2 other cars there. You were standing directly behind your vehicle from the passenger side. If you were standing there taking laser radar, why didn't you get those 2 guys that were in front of me instead of me? Because they were first. They made it to the stop sign first. They were traveling at the same rate of speed I was traveling at. Because I was right there, right behind them. All 3 of us were right behind each other. The silver 350 SL silver Mercedes-Benz went through first. Then the Honda Odyssey went through next. Then there was me, and then there was a white car, a Chevrolet Caprice, white, right behind me. Those 3 cars went through without a hitch. You pulled me over. And I was not speeding. There was no way, not with 2 other cars in front of me, both of them putting on their brakes at the same time. That means I got to slow down too. So how is it that you didn't get those 2 people, but you got me, traveling at the same rate of speed as they are? How did you catch me speeding and not them, and not the guy behind me?
All right.
Because any
Hold on,
other way,
hold on,
you
hold on.
would have never seen, you would have never heard me
Hold
or
on.
seen me.
Stop. Answer that question to the best of your abilities about.
I got lost in the story for the question. I apologize.
Just pick the piece out. The main piece there, I call it, was how did you pick his vehicle out of the group of 4?
He was the one that was speeding that I got on the laser unit, and then I'm still confused as to where he keeps talking about a stop sign. If he's talking about after he passed me and then I blue lighted him and he pulled over in at the elementary school up there, but that's just simply because I had to get turned around. But the stop sign, there were no stop signs that had any effect on his speed from where we were. And I testified as I did before. It was his car. He was doing 55 because the laser unit is very specific, vehicle specific. You can aim it that well.
All right, you may ask your next question.
Okay, so about with the time that you said you pulled me over, you said it was 7:36 p.m.
Correct.
on August 14th.
Yes.
You said you worked the evening shift,
Yes.
the late shift. At 7:36 in the morning, which is where the time that I actually got pulled over, because I was taking my son to work in McDonough at McDonald's. So I definitely remember the time as 7:36 in the morning, not in the evening. Because my daughter was with me and it was a school day. And it was a school day. So are you sure you were there at that time of day? At 7:36 p.m., because at 7:36 p.m. I was going back to pick him up from work. Because he works from 8 to 5 at McDonald's. So,
So I can tell you this about this citation, if you look at it, where it says 7:36 and it's checked for PM and up in there. The reason it says PM is because we use military time at our agency, and since most civilians don't know what military time is, I would have typed in 1936 for the time that night, and then it would have automatically changed it to 7:36 PM just to make it easier on the folks in the courts and then the civilians who don't understand military time. So I can tell you it is that. I also remember you whenever I stopped you and we were talking, because it was not a school time yet, because we had talked about, I wanted to make sure that you were understood that there were speed zones in the area, that if this would have happened during school times, that you would get you would get mailed a citation for speeding in a school zone through using the traffic cameras, the speeding cameras. And so since you were from Decatur, according to this, I explained to you, you need to be careful because, here for the first few weeks, we might be given warnings, but shortly thereafter, we're going to start issuing citations for those in there. I believe I told you they're about $100, $110 a piece.
okay, yeah, I do remember you speaking with me about that. You also told me at the same time that those school zone cameras were not working and that they would be working at 30 days after that date, which would have been around September 14th or 15th, right in the middle of the month. You did explain to me that as well.
I told you in the beginning that there was going to be a grace period at the beginning of school.
Of
And that
30 days.
Yeah, it'll still take your ticket, your picture, and you would have gotten a warning in the mail.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't have gotten a ticket.
Okay. Now this is, I don't have any more questions except for maybe, oh, wait a minute. Is there anything I'm doing? Okay, hold on. Hold on. All right, you said you were parked on the side of the road going southbound, facing southbound on North Hill Street. You said you were parked in a driveway. on the left-hand side of the road. That day you were parked on the side of the road, but you were parked on the property, on the Jordan Elementary School property. You were parked down inside of a drainage ditch on the side of it. Your car was facing forward, not at an angle. Am I correct?
You're saying that I was parked parallel with it down at the bottom of the hill?
Yeah, right there in
Right.
that little ditch right there where you were sitting.
Okay, it's not a
That's
ditch.
not, that's a drainage runoff for water.
Actually, where I was sitting is right near there,
Mm-hmm.
but that is a driveway that goes off the road right there, and then it goes into a wooded piece of property. There's actually a sign there for it says "Welcome to something or another," but that's where I sit. And yes, the nose was facing southbound, and I was out of my vehicle.
Were you on the left-hand side of the road or right-hand side of the road?
It depends on which direction you're going. For you, I would have been on the left-hand
You
side.
would have been on the left-hand side. That's school property. There's no driveway there.
Um,
And there's no side driveway that pulls into anywhere else. You go too far away from that stop sign, from that clearing right there at that corner, you're not going to be able to see me anyway. And you said you parked down off the hill facing catty corner. If you were facing catty corner, you still wouldn't have been able to get me because you're too far up off the road in order for you to be able to see me.
I think you're confused as to where
No.
exactly this incident took place, because it was closer to Cali Road, closer to the
North-
fire station.
North,
Hold on,
no.
Don't interrupt him. Let him finish, and then,
Okay.
You're talking about school property. We weren't near the school when you violated the speed limit. You were further back where you came off of across over McIntosh. You came past the fire station through that curve. Then there's that church that's right there, and then that is where I got you at. I was sitting on the side of the road down that way. I stopped you once you got up to Jordan Hill Elementary, but that was because I had to get in my car, turned around, and that was a safe area to stop. That's not where I clocked your speed.
So you clocked me at the beginning of McIntosh and North Hill Street.
No, because I can't see there because there's a curve that
So
goes
you
around.
got me after I came around the curve, past the fire department, right when the school's on and the 35-mile-per-hour sign is. That's where you got me. You were sitting southbound on North Hill Street, clocking me coming from that direction, but you were sitting this way. I was going that way. You clocked me as I came around that curve. You weren't sitting there. You were all the way down at the other end of North Hill Street, parked on the side of the road, right across the street from Dobson Mills Road. You were parked right
interpret
there.
that as a question and try to answer.
You were parked there. You
Okay,
admitted
hold on.
that yourself.
I'm
So
glad-
how did you catch
Hey,
me?
stop! You asked him a question. I'd like to hear his answer to that question.
As I stated earlier, I think you're confused on where I was sitting whenever I got your speed. I was on North Hill Street Extension, south of Dobbins Mill, closer towards the fire station area. I was on the left-hand side facing southbound.
So how did you get in front of me in order to be able to pull me over at Jordan Middle School? At Jordan Elementary?
I don't understand the question. I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
On the right-hand side. Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, any redirect, Ms. Sexton?
This will be very brief, but for clarity,
Yes, ma'am.
succinctly, where were you sitting when your radar went off?
I don't have radar.
I'm sorry, my mistake, the LiDAR.
The LiDAR unit, I was parked on the side of the road, south of Dobbins Mill, down at the bottom of the hill. So I was between Dobbins Mill and the fire station, right in that direction.
And you had a clear shot,
Absolutely.
and the posted speed limit at this point was How many miles an hour?
35 miles an hour,
And your LiDAR
Okay.
device measured him going how fast?
55 miles an hour.
That's all I had, Your Honor.
All right. Any recross, Mr. Nipper? Talk to your son for a second, and then if you have a question, you can ask it.
No, sir.
All right, you're good? All right, you may return to your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Donna, did you end up getting all of the exhibits and all that? You have them all there, okay. All right, you may call your next witness, if you have one.
The state rests.
All right. Mr. Nipper, the state is rested, which means they've provided all the information they're going to give. You have the right at this moment to testify, but no obligations. If you choose to testify or call any witnesses, then they'll be placed under oath, brought up here to testify, and they'll be cross-examined by Ms. Sexton, yourself, or anyone else you call. You also have the right to remain silent, and if you choose to remain silent, I will not hold that silence against you. Any questions I can answer as you frame up the decision to testify or not testify? And you can talk to your son privately if you want. All right. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me as you frame up your decision to testify or remain silent?
No,
What do you like? What do you want to do? You want to testify or remain silent?
just remain silent.
All right. Do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
The witnesses, no.
All right. So you've chosen to remain silent and you've chosen not to call witnesses. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Right. Ms. Sexton, as there was no evidence presented by the defense, that means there's no rebuttal, which means the evidence is closed. Would you like to go first, last, both for closing argument?
Last.
Last, okay. Mr. Nipper, do you mind summing up to me two things?
Yes, sir.
I would like you to sum up to me, what the facts of this case was that you've heard from your perspective. And I'd also like you to sum up with me what you think what the verdict should be on this case. Should it be a not guilty altogether, or should it be guilty to reduced speed? I'm just looking for some better information from you as to what you're seeking here. So I'd like those two things addressed.
Okay, I would like to go on record first as saying I will answer your question, but I'd also like to go on record as saying I am a 62-year-old white male. I did spend some time in the service. I have been a tractor trailer driver. I do hold a Class A CDL. I have been a tractor trailer driver, and I have been a school bus driver. I am very well aware of the speed limits and what they mean, both safety-wise and other things. I've never had a ticket a day in my life. I've never had a DUI. I've never been into a wreck.
That's not true.
Say that again.
I have another ticket from you. You have another ticket.
tickets.
I just saw it.
The two tickets that I've never gotten a ticket until I moved into this county. I got two tickets. One I got on June 6th. The other one I got on August 14th.
Okay.
Other than those two tickets, I have never been pulled over for any tickets, wrecks, or anything else like that.
Okay.
I'm asking the courts to recognize that I am a seasoned driver. I do understand the rules and regulations of the road. I do understand that maybe the officer did catch me speeding. And if that is the case, I will pay the ticket or take whatever punishment there may be. I don't have any evidence to give to you other than the pictures and the testimony that I gave you today. The pictures won't do me any justice because the officer caught me before I got to Dobson Mills Road. So the pictures won't do me any good. So those pictures are null and void. The officer, as far as I'm concerned, was in the right and in good standing. I do ask the courts to be lenient with me. I do understand that anyway, I ask the court to be lenient with me and understand that I'm not an excessive driver. I don't do things out of compulsion. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, Ms. Sexton, the floor is yours.
Okay, Your Honor, this is going to be very, very short. The facts are clear. Deputy Greer was on duty. He was parked on North Hill Street. He was using LADAR to speed check. The defendant, Mr. Nipper, was driving his vehicle. Officer Greer used LADAR to measure his speed. He was measured at 55 miles an hour. The speed limit was posted at 35 miles an hour. Law can be complicated even for lawyers. I'd like to break it down into its simplest forms. What elements must I prove? What evidence is there to prove these elements? Speeding, 40-6-181. No person shall drive a vehicle in excess of the maximum limits. No person, Mr. Nipper, shall drive a vehicle, 2017 Nissan Altima, in excess of the maximum speed limit. Limit was 35, he was driving 55. He was speeding, he got caught. It happens to us all the time. It doesn't make him a criminal, it doesn't make him a bad person. He just got caught speeding. It's very simple. It's as simple as that. He was going 55 and a 35. The state asked that he be assigned the standard amount of points and the standard amount of fine for going 55 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour posted speed zone.
All right, thank you. All right, the evidence, as I have heard it, is as follows. Deputy Greer testified, and this is 25 TK 3650. And again, I interjected myself into Mr. Nipper's closing arguments. The other case that was part of this court that was paid and closed was 24 TK 2154, which is a ticket from 74 and a 55. I only say that because I corrected Mr. Nipper in a statement, but I'm not in any way using this ticket, the second ticket, in making my decision on this case, and I wanted the record to be very clear about that. I'm making this decision on its own merits with no additional input from any other citations previously given. Mr. Nipper was operating his motor vehicle on August 14th, 2025. He says it was at 7 in the morning. Deputy testified it was at 7 at night. Given the bits and pieces of their conversation that they agreed on, it does appear that it was a PM event. Venue was proven here in Spalding County. ID was given properly as Mr. Marshall Nipper. The vehicle was an Acura. He was traveling north up North Hill Street Extension up towards Jordan Hill Elementary. The deputy was parked on the west side on that little, it's like a little concrete pad driveway, whatever, on the straightaway there before you get, after you come around the corner, but before you get to the stop sign. And visually estimated, the vehicle at 50 or 51. And then his LiDAR/laser was at 55. So we definitely have him in the 51 to 55 range. However, the LiDAR is the most accurate of the two in that it specifically said that at that moment, there was 511 feet between the deputy and the vehicle, and the deputy testified that there is basically a sight on it, and the sight was pointed directly at Mr. Nipper's vehicle. So I find that between the sight of the LiDAR / laser and the visual estimate of the speed, I find that there's enough for me to find beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Nipper operated his motor vehicle at 55 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. With that said, I do show that although Mr. Nipper has had one prior citation, he has not had more than one prior citation. I find that he also gave the court the authority to make this decision without a jury, which the court is grateful for the trust placed in me on that. What was the recommendation again from the state on sentencing post-verdict?
The standard amount of points and the standard amount of fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
I can give you that information if you need
I
it.
think I have it here. I think it's 232 is the total.
I believe so.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Nipper, given the outcome of this case, I'm going to give you I'm not going to think of me as kind of the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So I give what I think it should be. Y'all's negotiations, which I don't even know what they were.
It was a better deal, but
Okay. So y'all's negotiations are whatever y'all both agree on. So, so I'm coming down a little bit from where I would normally get, and I'm going to follow the state's recommendation, even at sentencing here, because this is, again, I'm just making certain that it's clear that I'm doing the 232 fine. Do you have those funds today to
No.
make that payment?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Then may I please have do you have a final disposition floating around anywhere?
we have yeah. So I have this, Your Honor, if this helps.
Yeah, I'll be
This
happy.
was previously filled out, but so we're gonna have to amend it a little bit.
Okay, happy to do that.
It's previous.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And then that's that.
Okay, this is great. All right, Mr. Nipper, I'm going to take what you had previously filled out. Oh, wow, they offered you 0 points.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'm marking out the state's offer. I'm replacing it with the court's finding of that I find you guilty after a bench trial on 25 TK 3650. The incident date of August 14th, 2025. And the speed is 55 NA 35. I find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $232 is your fine. You may work your fine off with community service work. This is not a 30 for 30. I'm not willing to give that after trial. This is not pay-only probation either, but it is terminate upon completion. You will have no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products. You will show your Georgia driver's license to sentence and enforcement. Other than that, your case can still close the moment you satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. I don't know if we have anybody from sentence enforcement here. I didn't ask them to. They're out there? Okay. Okay, they're back. Okay. Mr. Nipper, I need you to please sign by this X. This is not an indication that you agree with the sentence. It is simply acknowledgement that you understand the sentence. I also am going to find that, I'm also going to notify you again that you have 30 days if you wish to appeal it. By my math, as you've now had 2 citations within 3 years of each other, you need to know that, and this is not part of the sentence, I'm just simply being courteous in providing this to you, that your commercial driver's license will be suspended by operation of law for 60 days because you've now had 2 citations with points within a 3-year window. Again, that's not part of this order. It's not part of this sentence. It's just simply me providing you with a professional courtesy of information that you will lose your CDL for 60 days. You may then reapply after that. I don't need anything else. Clint, if you will please walk him out to meet with sentence enforcement. Good luck to you, sir. I'm going back and forth on that one because he didn't enter a plea. Hold on. No, there's no way I can make it work. So that's a good question, Clint. All right. Miss. Hold on. Hey, Clint. Margaret, I forgot to hand this to Clint.
That's the original, we'll go with that too.
This is the verdict form. I just forgot to give it to Clint. So it goes with the sentence sheet.
Just goes with-
That goes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give that to him. I just keep on going.
Okay, Mr. Butcher, come on up to the podium. Okay, just checking in with you. You got a chance to watch the trial. Any questions I can answer for you before I cut you loose for the afternoon?
Hi, can I, Your Honor?
You can pull that up. It's for tall folks like you and short folks like me.
All right, how you doing? Is it possible to get a transcript of the conversation from, I guess, from the pullover? That's all I really simply need.
Oh, you mean like the dashboard video?
No, just the conversation of me and the officer.
Oh, I don't know is the answer to that question because I don't know the evidence of your case. So
Okay,
I don't know what is available. The answer is maybe.
It's fairly
I don't know.
simple.
Yeah, it's a good question. The state has the evidence and I don't know what it is. But the best I can tell you is that you have access to the subpoena power of the court if you want access to it.
I will,
But I think we're trying this tomorrow morning, so.
You try it tomorrow?
Yeah, we're trying it tomorrow morning.
Is it, how simple is it to receive that within the time tomorrow?
That's a tough ask. Because again, there might be a video, there may not, I have no idea.
She had a body cam.
Your Honor, the only thing I can tell you is, for any of the remaining cases, I don't think we have the videos.
Okay,
If
so,
we had it, we'd share it.
Well,
Sure.
well, I'm gonna just go off of the officer remembrance, but
Yes.
you know, so
and again, I know several videos were, there's a software swap over of some sort and some videos got lost, but I don't know if this is part of that.
SO cases, I believe.
yeah, it's not serious of a thing. I just
No, but it's a good
but
question.
if I had this conversation, this transcript, it would be very
Sure.
clear to you.
Sure, it'd be a reasonable question, so, okay. So the short answer is, I don't know if there's a video or not, but we'll know tomorrow morning, but they don't think there's a video.
All right, thank you.
So, all right, do you need anything else from me before we part ways this afternoon?
I think it's all right. So
All right, back to this courtroom, second floor, tomorrow morning, we'll start at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Come on up. This is Miss Gibson. Okay, Ms. Gibson, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can take your hand down. State your full name for me.
Shakendra Latrell Gibson.
Ms. Gibson, you were here and you watched Mr. Nipper's trial from start to finish. Are there any questions that I can answer for you about anything before we part ways this afternoon?
I seem to have misplaced my ticket. I kind of need it for work because I thought it was going to be a one-day thing.
You need a new copy of your
Yes.
citation? Carly, do you mind printing her a new? Okay, they're going to print you a new copy of your citation. That's exactly why we do this. Do you need anything else from us?
No.
And will you also print her a reset notice since it's realized the ticket is not going to have today's date on it. So we'll
Okay.
print both the reset notice and the ticket, and that'll tie the two together for you and
Thank
give
you.
you what you need. All right, you need anything else, ma'am?
No.
Okay. All right, then if you will also, once you get your copy, return tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., this courtroom for your bench trial, and we'll do y'all's two bench trials back to back.
Thank you.
All right. She just needs proof she was here. All right, if you'll just have a seat, and then anything else before we adjourn for the afternoon, or recess, I guess would be the right way. Adjourns for the week. All right, then we're going to recess until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We have a lot going on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Judge Studdard is here on a civil matter. He'll be using courtroom 1. Judge Essery will be here in courtroom 2. And then we'll also, and then on Wednesday, camera cases will be in here. And then I will be sitting courtroom 1 for first the civil calendar, and then Mr. Singleton's motions. And then again, on Thursday, I'll be back on the bench on courtroom 1 doing civil hearings. I saw the panic, I saw the look of panic from the solicitor's table. So on Thursday, I'll be back on the bench doing civil hearings, which the solicitor's office is not responsible for.
Yeah.